going to sharpen these knives with electric. This is the Chef Choice electric 15-degree electric sharpener. We've got a mix of different knives here. They're all pretty sharp as they are, but I'm going to show you method, and I have a little cheat sheet here that I follow. And so the first slot, we're going to go through all this. The first slot, we're going to do left side 3 to 5 pulls, right side 1 to 2 pulls, and that is for this here. 3 to 5, 1 to 2, and then I do a few pulls on the left side here, and then on the right side. So this one is the most coarse. It does a 15-degree angle on your knives. 15-degree angle is usually for Japanese knives for a really sharp edge. Europeans I think are 17, and Western or US knives are about up to 20. And so each of these, this is the most coarse. So if you're got a knife, you don't know if it's Japanese or European or US, this particular sharpener will do it at a 15-degree angle. And so this first one is very coarse. So this will do most of the work to make it it's the most coarse. And then you have very fine, and then more like a polishing here. So we've got a various types of quality of knives here, and these have already got a 15-degree angle on them. So this particular knife here, I got it at Walmart like 20 years ago, and they've already have a 15-degree angle. It's probably going to hard to tell on the camera here, but it's the angle of the bevel. So these are all at 15-degree angle. Each left side's 15, right side's 15, so it makes up a 30-degree. One side is about a 15-degree, so we're working on a 15-degree angle. So this is about a 20-year-old, got it at Walmart. These other two here, Henkel, I think that's the way I pronounce it. This was actually a housewarming gift. This paring knife and this boning knife here. So this was actually a gift about 20 years ago. This is a cheapy knife. And you can see it's kind of broken away. It's just a stainless steel china on it here. It's not very good quality. We're also going to work on that, and it's a little bit of serrated edge there, and we're going to work on that. But I want to show you a cool find that I found at the thrift store a few weeks ago. Again, this is a Henkel. It's hard to see the label. I don't know if make it easier or harder to see. This little paring knife was at the thrift store, and I believe it was 50% off. But there you go. That's a high quality knife there. And then this other little knife, same situation, thrift store. So thrift store has obviously have some good finds in it. It's not all the time you go there and you got good finds, but if you can find some real good quality knives, and this was a really, I think it was like a couple bucks for these two. And they were at about 18 degrees, 17 degrees, and so I took them down to 15 degrees. My method, and I'm going to first try this middle one here, sharpener, and then using my method. And everybody has a different method, but this is the method I like to use, and I've bought this about 5 years ago. And this is actually, I really enjoy sharpening knives for some odd reason. Safety, because you are working with sharp objects here. So we're going to take this here, and this has got a decent blade on it. And so there's a lot of ways you can test. You can do the paper test, which is kind of, I don't know if I've always, as a kid, always did the paper test. You know, how sharp is it if you just pull it by the weight of the knife. And this one's pretty sharp. And then once I learned how to properly use knives, obviously you put your finger, but you have to be very, very, very careful. And what you're doing is you're just grazing in it, and if it can catch your fingerprint, then that means it's pretty freaking sharp. And on mine's, one bevel is slightly sharper than the other. So like if I graze it, let's go the other way here. If I graze it like this, it's not quite as sharp. So I'm just barely grazing it. You don't want to go like this because you're going to slit your finger. Again, be very careful. This is the method that I've used forever, almost 50 years. Yeah, this side's a little dull, but the other side, when I rake it around here, I just barely touch it, and it catches my fingerprint of my finger. And that's what you want. So this one's pretty sharp as it is, but I'm going to take you through the process of how I do it. Now, you want to be safe, and you want to make sure your cord doesn't protrude, so when you're pulling your knives through, you don't have anything on the other side that's going to block it. So I've got a good area. I've got a good, good area, not a bunch of clutter around here. So this knife is pretty sharp as it is, but I'm just going to show you my method. So we're going to do left side pull, 3 to 5 pulls, and what you want to do is on your pulls, you don't want to go very fast, because if you go very fast, it's not going to give a nice good edge. I don't know if you can see this edge here. You're going to go too fast, faster than the machine. And if you go too slow, you will have concaving in the blade here. Let me actually show you concaving. Let me show you what you're not supposed to do. We're going to use the cheapy knife. And I'm just going to sit on it for a second. I'm going to bring it up, and you're going to see a little bit of concaving. I don't know if you can see here right below my thumb. I don't know if you can see that. I'm kind of angling the light. But basically you have concaving if you let it sit on one spot. Dare I say that you cause a burn, or not really a burn, but you have an uneven, and I'm actually going to put it like this as well. And you have an uneven, it's uneven because I put too much pressure on it. I don't know if you can kind of see there, but I put too much pressure on that edge, and I pushed down on it. That's what you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just gently, basically the weight of the knife, or we're going to clean that up a little bit. So I put it in, and then just let it, I'm going kind of fast, but you just let it kiss it. Just a very light kissing. And I'm going to do 2 pulls on the right side. I kind of came in a little aggressively on that. And I'm just barely touching it. Because again, I don't want to, that's a little aggressive. Just barely grazing it. And let's see here, I kind of took out my concave just a little bit. Let's see how, on that side it's a little dull. On this side it's really popping out. It's really doing well. And then I do the same side. After I've sharpened it, I'll do the same side, maybe 2 pulls on the right here. Just kiss it a little bit. And 1 pull on that other edge. And this side polishes it. So I just do like maybe 1 or 2 pulls on this one left side here. As you can hear it, it's just a very fine, it's almost like a leather almost like a leather strap, even though it's not a leather strap. And then I do one on this other side here. And we shut it off, and let's test our edge here. So because I had more on that one bevel, this edge isn't as aggressive. But when I go the other way, it's definitely picking up. I'm just barely grazing it, and it's getting the ridges of my finger. Again, there's probably other methods that you can use, but this is the method that I use. And I'm just putting a nice edge on all these knives here. I've already done it, but so this is again my method. And I think it's kind of soothing or therapeutic for me. I guess I'm kind of weird. I like to have razor sharp knives. So what we're going to do is we're going to dress this one up. Again, this is a thrift store knife. I think it only cost me a couple bucks. Huge score. So when you go to the thrift store, you definitely can find some cool, good high quality stuff. Yeah, this is a good high quality knife. So my wife always accuses me of having razor knives in our knife block, scary sharp, because I personally like a nice sharp knife to get the job done. Because as I always say, a sharp knife won't cut you, versus a dull one where you're forcing it, and then it's not cutting for you. So this one I've already done at a 15-degree angle. And if you've got a like an old knife that you don't know what degree it is, and you've just purchased this. This was like 150 bucks, I think. This is a 15-degree, and if you don't know, what I would do is just work at a few poles on each side. Work a pole here, a pole here, a pole here, just to get that bevel up to 15 degrees. And then once it's already up to 15 degrees, then you can we're just doing a quick hone today, because these are sharp as they are. But yeah, again, you can use the paper test, and this is the paper test I used to use as a kid, and as you can see here, pretty impressed. So yeah, this is a razor almost as it is. This is good quality German steel. I don't know if it's made in Germany, but it's a good quality German knife. But yeah, we're just going to show you a quick dressing real quick here. So I'm just barely kissing it. I'm kind of going a little fast, but I'm not putting a ton of pressure on it. And this other side, it's only because I came in a little aggressive on that, and I'm trying to get it stable and level too. And we're just kissing that one side, and then we're just going to put it through these. Put a left turn here on the left side. That was a little aggressive, a lot more aggressive than I wanted, and then we're just going to touch this other side real quick. That was a little hard. That was my fault. I came in way too aggressively on that. And you'll probably see this edge here, if you can see, very, very faint here, but this is where I came in a little aggressively. But we're just going to do, and then this side is again very coarse, and this is medium or lighter, and this is almost like a polish. And as you can hear here, I'm not doing a ton of pressure. And we're just very, very lightly. That was too aggressive because I got caught. So then we're putting a nice sharp hone on these. Wasn't level there. I'm a little fast because that was just a polish. But yeah, I got pretty good pulls. The last few, I see a few nicks here where it was right here where I took it a little bit too steep here. I don't know if you can kind of see at my angle here. But let's turn our machine off. And this side, because that particular bevel we didn't work aggressively on. But this other side, I think I have to redo that one. Okay, let's see how we did. We're going to do this again here. So that's a little aggressive. I can hear the stone is kind of cutting into it more than I want. Again, we're just putting a nice hone on these. I want to do those 2 poles, 2 or 3 poles. Came in a little aggressive on that. Obviously, we're working this right less than this other side. So one bevel, one edge is going to have a little bit. One edge is going to be a little bit more sharper than the other. Pretty aggressive on that. Too much pressure, just barely kissed that stone. And then this other side, this is basically like a leather strap. It's it's not, but it's very fine. And as you can see, here, not taking a ton off. Just basically polishing that edge. And I'm not putting any pressure, downward pressure. Just enough to hold it stable. But yeah, this other side is like a very, very fine. Shut off our machine. And again, one side didn't get hit more than the other, but yeah, I can definitely feel just barely grazing that. Can take off the edges of my thumb. And the other side is just as sharp. So yeah, so that's, I like to, I don't know, I'm kind of weird. I like to sharpen knives. I find it's therapeutic. So we can use the paper test. I don't really know a good way. I mean, just barely touch your finger. And I learned this as a kid, but you have to be extremely careful, because you don't want to go going like that, because you're going to slice your finger off. So again, use at your own risk and use at your own caution, but I've had about like 50 years of doing this, so I feel that's a really nice edge, and it's just barely taking the ridges off my fingers. So again, doing the paper test, and we're just going to push, and I'm not pushing down on it, and it's just the weight of the blade. And as you can see here, that's a nice cut. So yeah, this one's nice and sharp. And then we're going to wash it off, wait till it dries, and then put it back in our knife block. So I'm really pleased the way that came out. And we're going to be doing all these others, but just to put a nice edge on them. Again, I'm accused of having scalpel razor blade knives, but I like a nice sharp knife so I can cut, good cutting. So this is what I like to do. And then after we're done here, obviously unplug your machine, and then there's a little thing on the bottom here. Right here is the catches. It's a little magnet that catches all the chips from our knife, and it just pulls out. If I can get it here, and sometimes you need to kind of work it up a little bit. So basically, that's all the filling from the knives, and you can just take a paper towel and just shake that off inside the trash can. But yeah, basically that's a magnet that collects all the shave fillings, and then you can also blow this out with compressed air, but over the trash can, because you don't want to get that stuff all over, because it makes a mess. So I just shake this off in the trash can, and then use just a tissue. And it just wipes right off, as you can see here. But I do that after every use. I make sure to clean this off. And make sure to clean it nice. And now this also has a use sparingly a dress tool, and I've never used this right here. I've never used it. I've only used the each slot here. And like I said, this was about, I want to say about 150 bucks, and I got this about 5-6 years ago. And it's the Chef's Choice 15-degree angle. So I'm pretty pleased with this. And again, this is how I sharpen my knives, and I always got good results. And I kind of find it therapeutic to sharpen knives. But again, good luck, and definitely be very careful and use at your own risk to test the sharpness of your edge. And obviously use common sense when you're operating knives. You know, definitely common sense, because once you get done with these are going to be like razors. And I really enjoy using it. So I hope this works out for you, and be safe and good luck, and thanks for watching. just the weight of the knife. So yeah, these are nice and sharp. And I hope you had fun watching me sharpen knives. It's kind of like therapeutic for me. It's kind of weird. But unplug our machine. Here's a plug. And then we'll empty out our little catch tray here. And then of course wipe down the counter, clean the counter, and then of course clean up the knives, wash them. Hand wash, but obviously be careful, very careful, because they are like little, they're razors. And see, here's, just did a hone because I've already did a 15 degrees on these. So just wiping this down on a little tissue, and then obviously I shake this in the trash to shake all those pieces off. And then we'll wipe down the counter and clean it up, and then there you go. So I hope this helps. And this is my review on the Chef's Choice Sharpener. Yeah, this thing, I'm really pleased with it. Like I said, it was like 150 bucks, and I got it about 5-6 years ago. But I'm pretty pleased with it. So I hope you are as well. You know, I hope this works for you. Like I said, I'm not very good at the manual method with the whetstone. My dad and grandfather were geniuses with that. They could turn any piece of metal into a razor. But I haven't quite perfected it. So I got the cheap, easy way. I got the easy way out. Electric sharpener, easy way. So now our knives are ready for Turkey Day, for Thanksgiving. We have a big party planned, so I want to make sure my mother-in-law, when she comes over to help us cook, that these knives are just great and easy to sharp, because we got a big feast ahead of us in a few weeks. So again, want to thank you for watching, and happy holidays, and be safe and healthy. Thanks again.